Did you know that how you spend the first 30 to 60 minutes of your day can essentially determine how the rest of your day will go, including how you'll handle stress, whether or not you'll work out, and what you'll end up eating? So, if you're someone who struggles to stay on track with making healthy choices consistently, especially later in the day, then I hope you'll watch this video to the end to see the complete morning routine that I've perfected over the years to ensure that I get an amazing start to the day. This routine of mine has done wonders to help me avoid cravings, mindless grazing, or stress eating later in the evening. So I'm taking you with me on a typical morning for me, so grab your coffee and let's go. In a previous life, I woke up every day to the sound of my screeching alarm clock. I didn't love that. Today, I work for myself, so I have the luxury of waking up every day without an alarm and just letting my body decide when it's ready to get up. And for me, that's typically around 6 or 7 a.m., 7 days a week. Once I've woken up, but before I get out of bed, I try to take a few minutes to just lie there, get quiet, and notice the thoughts that are already popping into my head. Am I feeling happy or grumpy? Am I already getting worried or stressed about something? Am I holding on to some negative feelings from yesterday or last night? I don't always succeed at this, but I do aim to not get out of bed until I've checked in with my thoughts and been as deliberate as I can about which ones I want to let go of and which ones I want to carry with me into this new day. Again, being totally honest here, some days I'm more successful with this than others, but I do take a few moments every morning to work on this. Once I actually get up, the very first thing I do is drink an entire glass of water. I put this beside my bed the night before, so it's right there waiting for me when I wake up. A big thing for me in the morning is staying away from all screens. I do not touch my phone or laptop or anything for at least the first hour of my day. This is huge for me. If I start looking at email or social media or news first thing in the morning, it means I'm letting other people's feelings, opinions, and priorities determine the trajectory of my day. I want to decide how I'm going to feel today before anyone else can insert their stuff into my head. So, no screens for at least the first hour of my day. I'm curious, what is your routine with screens in the morning? Do you avoid them for that first hour or so? Or are you someone who checks your phone as soon as you get up? Let me know in the comments below. No judgment. So once I'm up, I let the dogs outside to go to the bathroom and probably bark at the neighbors in case they're not up yet. I'm sure they appreciate that. What's happening? What's happening? Then the dogs get their breakfast. Then it's time to make coffee. I only have 1 cup of coffee a day, so I make it a really good one. I grind my own organic beans, measure out the filtered water, I use a French press, and brew what I consider to be the perfect cup of coffee. I warm up some almond milk and make myself sort of like an almond milk latte. I so enjoy this 1 cup a day, and often even find myself looking forward to it as I get ready for bed the night before. Tell me in the comments below if you're a coffee lover, and if so, how do you like to make it? Then I take my perfect cup of coffee to my comfiest chair and I open up my journal and get my favorite fountain pen. Most days I write for anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes, usually about whatever's on my mind, what I'm stressing about, what I'm excited about. I'll often write down my vision for the work I want to do, and almost always I take a few minutes to write a bit about how I would like to feel today. I think about what my day looks like, what appointments, tasks, errands I have to get done. And given what I know I have to do and what the potential triggers along the way might be, I think about how I want to feel as I move through all of that. Another thing I often like to do is just take a moment to look back in my journal to what I wrote a year ago or a month ago. It's always fun to see where my mind was back then, and it also helps me see patterns in worries or fears I'm carrying. Once I'm done with my journal, it's time to read. In the evening, before bed, I love a good novel. But during my morning routine, I always read nonfiction, and almost always it's something chosen intentionally to expand my mind, heart, and soul. One of the things I read almost every morning is poetry. I'll pick up any book of poems that I have around and just read 2 or 3. I think that poetry is like the language of the soul, and I know that reading it every day has changed me for the better. Once my coffee's done and I feel like I've read enough, it's time to walk the dogs. I usually take them for about an hour-long walk in the morning. If my husband is working from home and he doesn't have any early morning meetings, he'll often join us too. And then once we're home from our walk, it's time for my breakfast. Almost every single day, I make a big green smoothie for breakfast. Okay, so this is basically the smoothie I make every single morning. I wish I was more varied, but really it's basically the same because I love it and it's got lots of good stuff in it. And so, it's just simple and easy. Okay, first I do use a scoop of protein powder. I love this Epic Protein from Sprout Living. I just get the original flavor because I don't like any of the other flavors. I'm not a huge fan of the taste of stevia, even though it's a great sweetener option if you want that, but I just don't like it. So the natural one doesn't have any stevia in it, so that's what I get. I love it. It doesn't taste sort of chalky or doesn't really taste like anything, which is, in my opinion, the best thing about protein, a good protein powder. So I just use a scoop of that, sometimes maybe like a scoop and a half. And yeah, that's what I do for the protein powder. Then I do a tablespoon of ground flax. Excellent source of fiber, excellent source of omega-3 fats. So I just put that in there. Make sure it's ground flax, not whole flax, because it's really hard for your body to break down the whole flax seed. So just get ground flax or get the flax seed and just grind them yourself in like a blender or a coffee grinder or something like that. Then I put in a little bit of chocolate. This is just raw cacao. So not cocoa, which is the processed, cooked version of cacao, the chocolate bean. This is raw cacao. So this is just ground up cacao beans. So it's not sweet or anything. It's actually quite bitter, but it's very chocolatey. So I put about a tablespoon, like a very generous tablespoon. Maybe 2 tablespoons or 1 very generous tablespoon. So a little chocolate, little cacao. Then I like to put in some greens powder. I kind of switch it up. This is a combination of spirulina and chlorella from Prairie Naturals. But there's lots of great ones on the market you can find. But yeah, this is a combination. Sometimes I just do spirulina, sometimes I just do chlorella, sometimes I do different greens powders. There's all kinds of them. But this is just a combination of those two. And I just put in maybe, let's say, a teaspoon. It's pretty powerful stuff, pretty potent. So, but really, really good. Great antioxidants, good source of iron, just full of greeny goodness. Then for a little sweetness, I do put in some, like one really big medjool date, or like two sort of smaller ones if I don't have a big one. So these ones have pits in them, so I just take the seeds out, obviously, and then maybe a little guy. That was a big guy, maybe another little guy. Take the seeds out, stick them in there. That gives just a nice sweetness to it, because again, my protein powder, it doesn't have any sweetener in it or any stevia or anything, so I add that to make it a little bit sweet. Then I put in a bunch of greens, whatever I have. So I just had some spinach here, so I'll do like a couple big handfuls of spinach. I might make, if I have kale, I'd put that in. You know, basically either spinach or kale or a combination. That's usually what I do. So some good greens. Then I'll put in some almond milk, some unsweetened almond milk. Just finish that guy up. Maybe a little extra. You gotta shake these up. Just, yeah, so I don't even know. Maybe like 3/4 of a cup or a cup of almond milk. I'm not even measuring, I don't know. And then I do half a banana. So especially I like it's a great way to use up really ripe bananas if I'm not making banana bread or something, because they're extra sweet when they're this ripe. So I would do just half a banana, and then I freeze the other half for future smoothies. And then I'm gonna get some ice. So get my, I have this bag, first of all. This is where I keep all the halves of my bananas. So I'll just add that guy in there. And then when I'm out of real bananas, fresh bananas, or then I have these for my smoothies, or for other things. If I wanted to make banana bread or something, or make a smoothie bowl, then I would use these frozen bananas. Okay, I'm just gonna get some ice. And just to make it nice and cool. So I just put like a handful of ice in there, and I realize that I apologize for how disgusting this blender looks. I promise you it's clean. It's just, I use it every day, multiple times a day, so it's just stained over all the years, but it's clean. I apologize for the way it looks. Okay, I'm just gonna add some water to this, and then we're good to go. So I probably add in maybe another half cup or so of water, 1/3 of a cup of water. Depends how, thin or thick you want your smoothie. So altogether, I probably have about 2 cups of liquid in here between the almond milk and the water. So that's it. Then I blend it up. Okay, it's time to pour. Now, I promise you, it tastes better than it looks. I know it doesn't look super appealing maybe, but it is delicious. Cheers. So good. Again, I promise it tastes better than it looks. It's sweet, it's chocolatey, it's got bananas, but it's also got all that great protein powder and flax and greens powder and all of that, and spinach. And this will keep me full till lunch. Once my smoothie is made, I take it down to my office where I have my little meditation corner. I light a candle there, I sit on my meditation cushion, and I'll do at least a 10-minute meditation. Sometimes I listen to a guided meditation using an app like Calm or the Insight Timer, but more often than not, I just use the timer and sit in silence. Once my meditation is over, time to start up my computer and get to work while I enjoy my smoothie. And that's my morning. Pretty much every day starts like this for me. This routine helps me start my day in a way that feels intentional and kind of loving. It sets me up for a day that I get to live on my terms, feeling, for the most part, the way I want to feel. I'd love it if you'd let me know in the comments below a bit about what your morning routine looks like. I think it'll be really interesting to see what everyone shares. And if you want to see more about how I navigate the rest of the day, especially when I've got a lot going on and when I might be feeling a bit stressed, watch this video next, where I share with you 12 different self-care routines that I've used to dramatically improve my mental well-being and help me avoid turning to food to manage feelings like stress, anxiety, or overwhelm. So make sure you watch this one next. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope this was helpful. I can't wait to hear a little bit more about your morning routine.